As the plane touched down smoothly in Pune, India, I could hardly contain the thrill that surged through me like a warm wave. After the vibrant chaos of Ahmedabad, my heart raced at the prospect of yet another adventure in this mesmerizing land. As I stepped outside the airport, the heavy curtain of warm air enveloped me, infused with the delectable aroma of spices wafting through the atmosphere. It was intoxicating, an immediate and delicious reminder that I had arrived in a place where flavor and fragrance reigned supreme. The soundscape caught me off guard. It was a delightful cacophony of honking cars and the lively buzz of conversations blending together. The energy of the city was palpable, chaotic yet exhilarating, like a pulsating heartbeat that beckoned me to dive in and explore. I was ready, filled with anticipation about the rich tapestry of experiences that awaited me. My first stop was none other than the famed Shanawar Wada, an iconic fortified palace steeped in history. As I approached the grand gates of the palace, the midday sun beamed down, casting long, dramatic shadows that danced on the moss-covered stones. These stones, weathered by time, seemed to whisper long-forgotten secrets, tempting me to delve into the history of the place. With every step I took, I felt myself being transported back to a time where warriors clashed and court intrigues played out against a backdrop of splendor. The grandeur of the architecture still held a silent echo of its former nobility, standing tall against the test of time. I strolled through the sprawling grounds, my imagination running wild. In my mind, I could readily envision the powerful figures who once darted around, cloaked in silk and intrigue, plotting schemes that shaped the very fate of kingdoms. The sky was a brilliant shade of blue, dotted with cotton candy clouds, creating a picture-perfect moment that urged me to capture it all in my memory. Lost in my reverie, I was suddenly approached by an elderly vendor, his eyes twinkling with a blend of wisdom and mischief. The lines etched on his weathered face told tales of countless adventures, and I could sense he carried stories more valuable than gold. Looking for more than just a pretty view, he teased, a sly grin unfurling across his lips. Curiosity piqued, I shrugged in response, eager to uncover what he could possibly offer beyond the mesmerizing sights that surrounded me. Then follow me, he insisted, beckoning me to join him. The vendor led me away from the conventional tourist path and into a quieter part of the palace grounds, a hidden nook where the vibrant colors of India sprang to life. Here, a small gathering of locals was engaged in a spirited discussion about life, culture, and the foods that made their hearts sing. The aroma of samosas sizzling in a nearby stall filled the air, pulling me closer. "Join us," one of the women called, her voice warm and inviting. Hesitating for only a moment, I moved closer, intrigued by the infectious energy of this impromptu gathering. The laughter and lively chatter enveloped me like a cozy embrace. "I'm Aditi," introduced the woman, her hands expertly crafting a delicious-looking snack. As she prepared her dish, I could not help but be captivated by the skill with which she rolled the dough, her movements graceful and confident. The flavorful spices danced with the warmth of the oil, creating a symphony of smells that left my mouth watering in anticipation. "Can you teach me?" I asked Aditi, my eyes gleaming with excitement. Everyone erupted into laughter, the sound bubbling around us like sparkling water. "First, you must master the art of patience," Aditi replied, offering me a playful wink. It felt like stepping into a dance. This culinary process, filled with joy, stories shared between ingredients and the hearts of those working side by side. As I stood there, surrounded by newfound friends and enveloped in the fragrant oils and spices, I realized that this was a layer of India that few tourists ever touched. We shared not just food but stories, connecting in a way that transcended language. The elderly vendor had been right. There was so much more than just sights to behold in this vibrant land. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, I felt a sense of camaraderie and belonging swell up within me. This bustling gathering of locals, sharing their culinary secrets and laughter, had transformed my journey into something personal and memorable. The vibrant life of Pune had captured my heart, and as I left the Shanawar Wada behind, I knew that the threads of this adventure would weave into a much larger tapestry as I journeyed onward to Kochi. Each destination promised its own flavor, its own rhythm, and its own charm. I was ready to embrace every moment, every twist and turn that lay ahead. With the allure of Kochi on the horizon, I felt a joyful flutter in my chest, a promise that the journey was only just beginning. The vibrant traditions of southern India awaited me, and I was more than prepared to dive headfirst into the kaleidoscope of life that represented this incredible land. Little did I know, The moments yet to come would not only enrich my travel story, but also etch themselves deeply into the very fabric of my heart, forever reminding me of the power of connection through culture, cuisine, and community. Follow me. There's something you must see. Curiosity surged within me, fueled by the stranger's mysterious tone. I found myself trailing behind him, weaving through narrow, winding alleys pulsating with life. The air was alive with vibrant colors, filled with the tantalizing aromas wafting from street vendors and the laughter of children playing nearby. Each twist and turn brought forth a new sensory delight. Plastered walls were adorned with intricate murals depicting the rich heritage of the area, blending modern expressions with traditional motifs. I felt as if I was stepping into a living canvas, bursting at the seams with stories waiting to be told. We arrived at a small shop, its entrance low and welcoming, as though inviting intimate secrets from those adventurous enough to enter. It seemed to belong to another era, with its weathered wooden door creaking softly as I pushed it open. Inside was a comforting embrace of nostalgia. The dim light gave the space an almost ethereal glow, bathing everything in hues that danced playfully across the walls. An assortment of trinkets adorned every surface, each more curious than the last, whispering their own tales of travels far and wide. My eyes were drawn to a collection of intricately designed boxes, beautifully crafted with exquisite patterns that mirrored the artistry found in the streets outside. The craftsmanship was astounding, each box telling its own story through delicate carvings and vibrant colors. With a knowing smile, the vendor, an older man with gentle eyes and a face etched with the lines of experience, handed me one of these boxes. "Open it," he urged, his voice a warm invitation wrapped in intrigue. I hesitated only a moment before lifting the lid, anticipation thrumming in my veins. Inside lay a simple piece of parchment, handwritten in an elegant script that felt alive under my fingertips. It bore an address that seemed to pulse with promise. "You will find something interesting there," he said cryptically, his eyes sparkling with an unspoken understanding. Feeling invigorated by this unexpected twist in my journey, I decided then and there to follow this new path. The possibilities excited me. What lay at the end of this address? With a grateful nod towards the vendor, I stepped back out into the vibrant chaos of Pune, a newfound sense of adventure igniting my spirit. The city was still buzzing, but it felt different now, as if it was in on the secret with me, urging me forward. The address led me to a hidden part of Pune, an artist community thriving behind the smoke and fog of the city's bustling life. As I walked, I felt the atmosphere change, becoming more relaxed and filled with creative energy. The streets here were wider, bordered by charming buildings splashed with color, each one a masterpiece painted by both nature and human hands. Upon entering the community, I was warmly greeted by the sight of artists immersed in their crafts. Some were sculpting clay on wheels, others painting vivid landscapes or mesmerizing abstracts, while a group of musicians strummed lively tunes that filled the air with a joyful rhythm. The integration of sound, color, and movement enveloped me, creating a harmonious blend that felt like a celebration of creativity. I wandered deeper into this enclave, my footsteps guided by the melodies that danced through the air. Each corner unveiled a new artist, each showcasing their unique perspective of the world. One painter, her hands smudged with vibrant colors, spoke passionately of her latest work, a mural that depicted not just the beauty of Pune, but also its struggles and triumphs. "Art has the power to tell stories that words cannot," she said, her eyes shining with determination. I found myself captivated not only by her talent, but also by her passion. As I continued exploring, I stumbled upon a small courtyard where a group of artists collaborated on a community project. They were transforming a blank wall into a vibrant mural celebrating their shared history and diverse cultures. I watched as each stroke of the brush seemed to fuse their different stories into a single identity, a collective narrative that resonated deeply within me. I couldn't help but feel a sense of belonging, as if I was a part of something larger than myself. An elderly sculptor paused in his work just long enough to invite me to join the group. "Here, we are all storytellers," he explained with a smile, his weathered hands pointing out the details in his woodwork. "Each piece carries a piece of our heart. What stories do you wish to tell?" His question hung in the air, profound and inviting. As I watched him carve, the rhythmic scrape of his tools against the wood matched the beat of my racing heart, urging me to explore my own creative depths. After soaking in the vibrant atmosphere, I decided to delve deeper into this artist community. I found a local cafe where the smell of fresh chai and pastries filled the air. The cafe was adorned with local artwork, and each piece sparked conversations among patrons, making it an ideal spot to reflect on the day's experiences. I took a seat by the window, watching the artists pass, their laughter and voices mingling, creating a tapestry of sound that resonated with joy and camaraderie. As I sipped my chai, I struck up a conversation with a fellow artist who had joined me at the table. Her name was Priya, a talented muralist whose recent projects focused on social issues close to her heart. You see, art is more than just paint on a wall, she explained, her hands animated as she spoke. It's a medium for change, a way to ignite conversations. Her bright eyes sparkled with the passion she had for her craft, and I felt inspired to dig deeper into my own creativity. Priya offered to take me to an upcoming event that would showcase the community's latest works, and I eagerly accepted. As we walked through the neighborhood, she shared stories of past events, hilarious mishaps where paint spilled unexpectedly, emotional moments when a piece resonated with someone deeply, and the bonds formed through the shared pursuit of creativity. Each tale was reminiscent of a dance, filled with the rhythm of life, laughter, and learning. The night of the event arrived, and the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Local music floated through the air as the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Artists gathered in the courtyard, arranging their pieces for display. I marveled at the variety of artworks, each one telling a different story, echoing the diverse experiences of the artists. Poets recited their works, musicians strummed uplifting melodies, and laughter rang out like music in the air. As the night unfolded, I found myself drawn into the heart of creativity. I participated in an impromptu poetry reading, sharing my own reflections inspired by my journey thus far. The supportive crowd encouraged me, their smiles and applause igniting a fire within me. In that moment, I felt a connection that transcended words, a unity forged through shared experiences and artistic expression. The events of that night lingered long after I left the artist community. They expanded my perspective and sparked a desire to embrace my creativity with newfound fervor. I looked forward to my next stop on this extraordinary journey, eager to see what unexpected adventures awaited me in Kochi, India. As I departed Pune, I carried with me more than just memories. I held a piece of the artist's spirit, a reminder of the beauty that comes from collaboration, the power of expression, and the joy of discovering stories hidden around every corner. Kerala awaited me, and I was ready to dive headfirst into the next chapter of this incredible adventure. Here, vibrant murals adorned crumbling walls, and I found bohemian cafes brimming with creativity. The atmosphere was electric, a palpable sense of artistic freedom buzzing in the air. Local artists displayed their handiwork, each piece telling a story, a testament to the vibrant culture of Ahmedabad. I meandered through the narrow streets, where every corner revealed something unexpected. A mural of a peacock spread its feathers wide on an old building's facade, splashes of blues and greens dancing beneath the fading sunlight. I couldn't help but stop and admire the talent. Each brushstroke was a celebration of life. As I chatted with locals over steaming cups of chai, the sweet aroma wrapping around me like a warm blanket, I felt an instant sense of belonging. Stories flowed as freely as the tea, laughter punctuating our conversations. One man, Rohan, animatedly recounted his adventures as an aspiring filmmaker. Every street has a character. Every alley hides a story, he proclaimed, his eyes sparkling with passion. His enthusiasm was infectious, and soon I found myself sharing my own tales, each new friend adding to the rich tapestry of my experience. But there was something more, an intriguing undercurrent that played at the back of my mind. I couldn't shake the feeling that my journey had taken a turn for the peculiar. Amidst the laughter and camaraderie, whispers about a local artist began to surface, a man who had mysteriously vanished years ago. Each time I inquired about him, the conversation would shift, eyes darting away. It became clear that this narrative was more than just a curious footnote. It was woven into the very fabric of the community. Have you heard about Arjun? A soft voice piped up one evening, disrupting my thoughts. It was Maya, a young woman with dark, expressive eyes. He was brilliant, you know. His art was revolutionary, she said, her voice dropping to a hushed whisper, almost reverent. But one day, he just disappeared. Intrigued, I pressed for more details. Each conversation, I had peeled back layers of a narrative that felt incomplete. I became entangled in the stories of his life, filled with passion for his craft, the exhilarating highs of an artist on the rise, and the tragic circumstances surrounding his vanishing that left everyone puzzled. They recalled murmurs of his latest work, a piece that threatened to challenge societal norms and provoke thought. They say his last painting was never found. Another local chimed in, their tone heavy with mystery. Just as I was approaching what felt like a breakthrough, The clock reminded me it was time to move on to Kochi. The train ride was a whirlwind of colors and sounds, an ever-changing canvas as the vibrant landscapes of India rolled past my window. Fields stretched as far as the eye could see, dotted with farmers tending to their crops, their silhouettes highlighted against the golden haze of midday sunlight. The rhythmic clatter of the train became a soothing background score, lulling me into a state of reflection. I found myself thinking of Arjun, the artist whose story had ignited a flicker of curiosity in me. I couldn't wait to dive into Kochi's rich cultural tapestry, which was promising tales of its own. As I arrived in Kochi, the salty breeze tickled my face, invigorating and refreshing, contrasting sharply with the bustling warmth of the city. The air was infused with a sense of possibility, where the sea kissed the land, whispering secrets of old trade routes woven by generations of explorers and merchants who had traversed these waters. I could almost feel the pulse of history coursing beneath my feet, beckoning me to explore. I settled into a tranquil guest house by the backwaters, the gentle lapping of water against the dock creating a symphony of calm. The owner, a wise elderly woman named Amaya, greeted me with a warm smile that crinkled the corners of her kind eyes. Her thick gray hair was neatly tied back, and her hands bore the story of a life well lived, each wrinkle a chapter of its own. "You must join me for a sunset boat ride," she insisted, her voice a melodic invitation that promised magic. As we glided through the backwaters, the golden hues of the setting sun painted the sky with strokes of orange and pink, casting a serene glow on the water's surface. "These waters," Amaya began, her voice soft yet vivid against the backdrop of nature, "hold many stories. Fishermen have shared their lives here for centuries, as do the whispers of the winds." I listened, captivated. Her tales of ancestral traditions, of family legacies, and the deep connection to the land filled the air with a richness that was almost tangible. We drifted past lush coconut groves and quaint villages, each scene more picturesque than the last. Amaya pointed out fishermen casting their nets into the shimmering waters, their silhouettes framed against the fading light. "Look, you see the dance of the fishermen? Each movement is a rhythm, a song of survival," she said, her eyes twinkling with nostalgia. I watched intently, feeling a shared bond in those moments, a connection forged through the beauty of life unfolding before us. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a shimmering path of light across the water, I couldn't help but reflect on my journey. Each city, each encounter had layered into my soul, crafting a masterpiece of experiences. The tales of Arjun in Ahmedabad, the laughter shared with newfound friends, and the serenity of the backwaters in Kochi, all were threads in the fabric of my adventure. That night, as I lay in bed listening to the gentle sounds of nature, I realized that my travels were more than just physical journeys. They were emotional expeditions, exploring the depths of human experience, the art of storytelling, the intricacies of culture, and the beauty of connection. I ached to continue this exploration, to delve deeper into the stories that awaited me. The world was vast, and I was merely scratching the surface, with each episode leading me to unexpected horizons filled with life, warmth, and an enduring sense of wonder. The serenity of the waters mirrored the sky, painted in brilliant hues of orange and purple as the sun kissed the horizon, signaling the end of another day in this enchanting part of the world. As I drifted on the calm waters, cradling my thoughts and feelings, Amaya, a local guide with an infectious enthusiasm for her culture, began to share stories about her family's deep-rooted legacy. I listened intently, captivated by her words and the rich tapestry of history woven into the lives of the local fishermen, who still honored ancient practices while living in perfect harmony with the ever-changing sea. "Can you believe it?" she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling like the water around us. "My grandfather would tell tales of nights spent on the ocean, the stars guiding him home. Fishing is more than just a job here. It's our lifeblood." I could picture it. Generations of families working together, their laughter mingling with the sound of waves lapping against the shore. It was a beautiful connection to nature, a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between man and the sea. After our boat trip, filled with laughter and heartfelt stories, I ventured off the beaten path through the labyrinthine streets of Fort Kochi. I was immediately struck by the fragrant wafts of spices from the local vendors, the aroma transporting me to a world of culinary delights and vibrant culture. The streets enchanted me. Each corner revealed a blend of architecture, from colonial buildings adorned with intricate woodwork to lively street murals bursting with colors that told their own stories. It was in this intoxicating atmosphere that I found myself in an art gallery, hidden away like a treasure waiting to be discovered. As I stepped inside, I was greeted by a kaleidoscope of colors. The vibrant paintings spoke to my heart, their colors dancing with life, each canvas echoing whispers of the stories behind them. The energy of the place was palpable, filled with a thrilling sense of discovery. One piece, in particular, arrested my attention, a strikingly evocative painting that evoked the emotions I had felt during my time in Pune. It seemed to pulse with a life of its own, drawing me into its depths. Standing there, lost in the artwork, I was approached by Ria, the gallery owner, an enthusiastic young woman whose passion for art was infectious. "Isn't it extraordinary?" she said, her voice brimming with excitement. "These pieces are inspired by our folklore and are connected to an artist who mysteriously disappeared years ago." My heart raced as the words hung in the air. Was it fate nudging me toward a deeper exploration of this narrative? Eager to learn more, I engaged Ria in conversation. As we exchanged thoughts, it became clear that our mutual curiosity knit a bond between us, a friendship burgeoning amidst a shared desire to uncover the truth behind the missing artist. Every day, we transformed our casual strolls into thrilling quests, exploring every winding alley and bustling market, piecing together fragments of the artist's life like the pieces of a beautiful, intricate puzzle. Have you ever felt that spark when you discover something so profound? I asked Ria one afternoon, as we ambled past colorful shops selling local handicrafts. She paused, her gaze thoughtful. "Absolutely," she replied, her voice earnest. "Art has a way of connecting us to the past, to emotions we sometimes struggle to articulate." Her words danced in my mind, igniting my fervor for our pursuit. Days turned into a whirlwind of exploration, and with each passing moment, I felt a growing sense of purpose wash over me. Along the way, we gathered stories from the locals who had crossed paths with the artist, each account enriching our understanding, each anecdote pulling me deeper into the soul of Kochi. The thrill of uncovering the layers of this artistic legacy was intoxicating, and I found solace in the shared laughter and excitement. Just as I began to think we had unraveled all we could, we stumbled upon something significant that changed everything. A hidden gallery exhibiting the artist's unfinished work. Nestled within a community space adorned with murals of love, loss, and unfulfilled potential, this gallery seemed to pulse with life. The air was thick with emotion, and I could feel the stories swirling around me, a whispering testament to the artist's aspirations, hopes, and the artistic journey that lay unfinished. Ria and I wandered through the space in awe, each piece telling its own story, an unfinished dialogue between the artist and the canvas. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Ria mused, her eyes sparkling with tears. "These works speak of his journey, of all that he wanted to convey but never could." My heart swelled with empathy for this nameless artist, lost yet so profoundly present through his work. In that moment, as we stood transfixed by the beauty and melancholy surrounding us, I realized that Kochi had offered me more than just a glimpse into an artist's world. It had invited me into a universe where stories of love, loss, and dreams intertwined seamlessly, creating a rich tapestry of human experience. The journey had transformed me, awakened an artist's spirit within, and inspired a pursuit for understanding that I hoped would never end. As I prepared to leave Kochi, I felt a bittersweet twinge in my heart. This city, with its vibrant art scene, its flavors, and its stories, had become a home, at least for a little while. My bond with Ria, born from curiosity and ambition, felt like a promise to not only continue our exploration of art and mystery, but to cherish the connections made along the way. And as I stood at the edge of the waters, watching the city shine like jewels in the fading light, I knew that this was not a goodbye, but the start of a new chapter in my adventure. A chapter filled with possibility and wonder, guided gently by the stories of those who came before and those yet to be told. That it was in Ahmedabad that my journey truly began. A canvas where vibrant colors mingled with the rich textures of culture and history. The bustling streets painted a picture of life, with each corner brimming with the sounds of laughter, chatter, and the tantalizing aroma of street food wafting through the air. As I wandered aimlessly, overwhelmed by the energy surrounding me, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was on the brink of something profound. I stood mesmerized before the intricate designs of the weekly markets, where artisans showcased their vivid textiles and elaborate pottery. The weavers, their fingers dancing deftly over looms, shared stories of their craft, a heritage passed down through generations. I could feel the warmth of their passion wrapping around me like a comforting shawl. And as I engaged in conversations with the locals, my heart swelled with a unique kinship that transcended language barriers. But as days flew by, I felt the pull to venture further. And so, I found myself bound for Pune, a city known for its blend of academia and tradition. As my train rattled toward my next destination, I was enveloped by a sense of anticipation. Pune greeted me with an embrace of cool breezes and sprawling greenery. It was as though the city exhaled a breath of fresh air, urging me to explore. The streets of Pune were alive with the sound of scooters zipping by, their riders weaving confidently through the traffic. I marveled at how these narrow roads were lined with ancient temples, each telling stories of devotion and artistry etched in stone. I stopped at a quaint cafe, drawn in by the inviting aroma of brewing masala chai. As I settled into a sunny corner, an elderly gentleman at the next table caught my eye. His eyes sparkled with wisdom as he chuckled softly, inviting me into a conversation filled with tales from his youth. "You see," he said, stirring his chai with a gentle rhythm, "life is like this cup, filled with sweetness and spice in equal measure." His laughter was contagious, and soon we were debating the merits of local cuisine, his face lighting up with every delicious memory. In that moment, amidst the clinking of cups and the shared laughter, I realized that these exchanges were a thread weaving us together, uniting our disparate worlds into one. After a few enriching days, I set my sights on Kochi, known for its stunning backwaters and a unique blend of cultures. As I flew over lush landscapes and shimmering waters, I felt a thrill course through me. Kochi unfolded like a painting. The palm trees swayed rhythmically in the breeze as boats glided gracefully across the tranquil waters. Upon landing, I was immediately drawn to the vibrant art scene, as galleries and street performers beckoned me to take in their artistry. My journey led me to Fort Kochi, a locale where every brick whispered tales from the past. The distinct feel of colonial architecture reminded me of stories heard in classrooms back home. Wandering through the narrow lanes, I stumbled upon a street artist meticulously crafting exquisite murals. His paintbrush danced with delight, breathing life into a blank canvas that would soon become a vibrant reflection of the world around him. It was here, in this lively atmosphere of creativity, that I felt another epiphany brush past me like a fleeting shadow. This quest was about more than just sights. It was about human connections, shared experiences, and stories waiting to be told. As night descended, Fort Kochi transformed into a magical realm. The houses were adorned with twinkling lights, and the air resonated with the melodies of live music wafting from nearby cafes. I found my way to a bustling eatery with a view of the sea. The smell of fresh prawns being grilled filled the air, mingling beautifully with the salty sea breeze. I struck up a conversation with a couple sitting next to me. They shared anecdotes about their recent travels, their enthusiasm igniting a spark of wanderlust within me that I hadn't realized existed. We exchanged advice on what to see, what to taste, and before long, their laughter felt as familiar as that of old friends. Time flew by, and as my adventure drew to a close, I found myself reflecting on the journey that had unraveled before me. Clutching the address I had noted in Pune, an emblem of connections made and stories shared, I understood that this was not merely a travel itinerary to tick off. It was a tapestry woven from laughter, shared cups of chai, and whispers of history that echoed in every city I had traversed. As I boarded my flight back home, a profound sense of fulfillment enveloped me. I glanced back at the sprawling landscapes of India, a realm of colors, sounds, and lives intertwining in a beautiful symphony. I had absorbed so much more than the sights. I had tasted the essence of humanity itself. The plane climbed high into the sky, and I felt an exhilarating sense of aliveness, invigorated by the knowledge that every corner of the world holds stories waiting to be discovered, just as I had uncovered tales deep within my own spirit. I returned with more than souvenirs. I carried fragments of friendships, lessons learned from strangers turned companions, and a heart now wide open to the wonders of life. My adventure had ended, but the stories I gathered would ripple through time, forever entwined with my path, reminding me that the world is vast, rich, and full of unexpected connections. Thanks for joining the adventure. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing travels. What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments. Where are we heading next? Stay tuned, and see you in the next adventure.